Nike became a company in 1972, but years before Nike was even a thought, Phil Knight, who was a runner at the University of Oregon, he ran for legendary track coach Bill Bowerman, had this idea to start importing shoes from Japan and selling them at track meets in the United States. And in this video, I'd like to show you an example of one of the shoes that Phil Knight was selling in the very early days. So he started selling Onitsuka Tiger shoes. And check it out, we've got a bag right here. The original Onitsuka line, we've got this ASICS logo right here. And it says, the champion of sports shoes, Onitsuka Tiger, made in Japan. See that down there, made in Japan? And Phil was importing Onitsuka Tigers from Japan and selling them in the United States. And so this bag actually went along with this pair of track spikes. Have a look right there. There's that Onitsuka Tiger ASICS logo on the side. Over here. 4 spikes. A lot of the early Nikes look very similar to early Onitsuka Tiger track spikes because Phil Knight would import these shoes and sell them at track meets, but Bill Bowerman would get his hands on them and he would dissect them and he would tear them apart and then try to rebuild better shoes. And eventually Phil and Bill started building better shoes, and they called them Nikes. But the inspiration for so many of those early shoes came from track spikes, just like this one right here. You can see the 4 spikes right here up at the front, which was a very common feature of a lot of the early Nike track spikes. And then when you look up here at the front toe box, you'll see the seams and the stitching right there, which is very, very familiar on a lot of early Nikes, like the Moon shoe, also the Marathon, some of the Cortezes. It's crazy. Bill Bowerman was a G. He used to take these shoes that Phil would bring back, take them into the lab, sometimes into the back of his house, and tear them up and rebuild them to make them better and to make them more lightweight. This pair of shoes actually comes with these funky rubber pieces that are meant to cover up and protect the track spikes themselves. But anyway, it's been a real pleasure talking about the early days of Nike, and before they were even Nike, when Phil Knight was importing these Onitsuka Tigers and selling them in the States. And back in those days, the company was called Blue Ribbon Sports. And Blue Ribbon Sports was founded in 1964 and then later went on to become Nike in 1972. So there you have it, the super duper early days, the pre-Nike days, if you will.